Hey everyone, I've decided to make level one, part one of my new meditation workshop that's available on my Patreon page. And I've decided to share the first one for free so that you guys can experience it right here, or you can go over to my Patreon page and do the whole thing. So it's kind of an introduction as to what I'm doing, what the workshop is going to be about, some of the different directions that it might go, and how you can be a part of it and a part of that inner circle community that I have over on my Patreon page. So I hope you guys go check it out. I have a lot of other cool stuff in my link tree about the Zion Yoga Festival coming up and other things that I'm doing up at Mount Wilson Ranch, and we're going to continue that series. But I wanted to share this first part, level one of my Soul Reach guided meditation experience and sort of philosophy with you guys right here, so you get a sample of it and can go through it. If it's not for you, that's okay, but hopefully it finds the right people who need this right now in their life and you can get something out of it. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this, and this is my first Escaping the Matrix level one, part one, just for you guys. And I better fill up my hummingbird feeders, or there she is. She's going to be upset at me here in a minute. Uh-oh. Welcome to the Carl Crusher Soul Reach workshop. This is going to be focused on my basics of meditation. A lot of people who are probably joining this workshop are familiar with my YouTube channel and my background, a little bit of who I am, and you're probably curious about meditation and some of the methods that I use, possibly even advanced methods for contact, like my own version of CE5 or the Gateway method. I call it my Soul Reach meditation. And so this is going to be a beginner workshop for people who feel like they have tried meditation before, they've done guided meditations, but they just have a lot of mental clutter and struggle with these types of things, and you feel like maybe you can't do meditation, or you can't ever get the thoughts to stop in your own mind, or have the experiences that you hear other people talking about, as far as feeling oneness or having these transcendental visions or dreams or amazing experiences. So we're going to talk about all of that, but I wanted to make this introductory video to kind of bring you up to speed so that you know how these workshops are going to happen and how it's going to flow. So I'm probably going to be doing other workshops that involve more of a focus on utilizing meditation and my approach towards weight loss. I've lost over 170 pounds. I used to weigh 400 pounds and was very unhappy and depressed and struggling with life. I had back surgeries and injuries and injections and all kinds of problems that I've had to overcome. And meditation was key and essential, specifically towards helping me lose all that weight, almost 200 pounds, and to have the life that I have now, to where I feel comfortable and confident on camera and with who I am. I still have work to do, but I feel like there's a lot of people out there that could benefit from that. But I'm going to organize these workshops in such a way to where when you join meditation experience like this, to go from the beginning all the way through to the end, you're also going to get access to all of the other Patreon inner circle elements to being a part of this workshop. So you're going to be getting these workshops labeled specifically by number and by name, according to the workshop that you've signed up for, and also the class number. So it's just going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way to the end, and then you're going to know when it's the final class or the conclusion at the very end. There's going to be a video for everyone. And if there's handouts or downloads or other things like that, there will always be a written description down below to accompany that, with hyperlinks or places that you can click to go find what I'm talking about. So if I give access to additional material, downloads, printables, and things like that, there will be links in the description below every single video or meditation. Now, since you have joined this Soul Reach introduction meditation course and workshop with me, you also get access to your first link, which is all of the meditations that I've already made, as far as free ones that are on YouTube. I've made all of these videos and meditations unlisted, so that you guys are the only ones who have access to them right now for signing up with this workshop. Now, there's a variety of them, from like basic ones to help you learn how to stop the chattering thoughts in your mind, and a few different approaches to that, and also different guided and visualization meditations that I have created that I use for myself. So these are ones that I've recorded in my own voice that you can pull up and use at any time. So I've created an entire playlist of that. Some of them are also just 10-hour, 11-hour long videos that you can play through a speaker in your bedroom or on your TV. And basically they help you relax and go to sleep. And there's also guided meditations for helping you relax and go to sleep as well. So there's a lot of different approaches and methods to this, but these Soul Reach guided meditations and overnight experiences are also available for you in the links down below. So make sure and go check those out. So for this initial introductory class, be aware that there's going to be an explanation and then a guided meditation experience that goes along with that. And we're going to start with the very first one just being different levels of self-awareness and perception. Now, this is the basic fundamental way in which you sort of start to pay attention to your default mode, your basic self-awareness and your surroundings at a core level. Now, the normal experience for most people is that you go from being asleep at night and you wake up in the morning, and then immediately there's a dialogue that begins inside your mind. You have this mental chatter, like a whole conversation that kicks off, like, oh, I got to get up and go to work, or it's time for me to get ready, I got to do all this. And you start listing off all the things that you're going to have to do in the day that you're either looking forward to or not looking forward to. And you can also be dwelling on the day before, the night before, or you're not feeling well physically, and a whole list of things go on. But basically, most people wake up and they're plunged into this whole mental dialogue and chatter. It's always in the language that you were taught as a child by your parents and by your education system. So the family that you were raised in, like I was raised in Southeast Idaho, and so I was raised to learn and speak and read and write English, and so the thoughts inside my head are all in my own voice, in language that was taught to me by my parents. And there is also, if you think about this, it reveals that there was a time before that as a child, before you had reading and writing and language, where there was this openness and this emptiness and this pure sort of clean meditative state that you had as a child. And we're going to kind of reclaim that by the end of this course in your life. But it all begins with this basic awareness and acknowledgement of paying attention initially to, right off the bat, how you wake up almost in this mental chatter, or this sort of state of hypnosis where there's this dialogue going on, this imagination going on. Maybe you're like me and you even have strong visualizations, and so you're imagining a lot of things, visualizing a lot of things, and replaying old memories. And it's a whole dynamic thing of what's going on inside your mind and your emotions. And then you're also waking up and getting ready for the day. And this carries on throughout the day. Now you're socially interacting with the people around you and facing problems, or going to work, or dealing with kids, or whatever you have going on in your life. And so this sort of default level of awareness where you are existing in reality and interacting socially with other people and communicating, but at the same time you have this whole inner subconscious dialogue and this mental chatter and visualization and this whole inner thing that's going on inside of you, like this whole other dimension of reality that's playing out in this non-physical psychic realm inside your head, right? And if that gets out of control or starts to get dysfunctional, in our society we label that as a mental illness, right? If it gets to be something where it interferes with your life, causes you a lot of depression, suicidal ideation, or fear, paranoia, different things, or interpersonal conflict, struggles at work, all of that, they start to want to label that as mental illness, when really, in my opinion, it's more that we come into this world as sort of a pure, clean slate in a way, unless we have actual disabilities and things that we're born with genetically. Really, we become a product of our system and society that we're trying to survive in, that can be somewhat impossible and feel impossible at times, and creates this mental strain and fear, and kind of puts you in this box that's difficult to get out of. And all of that adds up to where it feels like meditation and having peace of mind and calmness, or any kind of connection with yourself or Mother Nature, can feel impossible. People cave into drugs or alcohol or other sorts of escapes in order to try and reclaim this, because they don't know how to deal with that, all that going on inside themselves. And it's a real problem. It's a real thing that's going on, and I relate to that. That's how I got up to 400 pounds and struggled with a lot of things in my life, you know. And so it really begins with a level of environmental awareness and self-awareness that we're going to begin with here in this initial workshop. Now, typically with a meditation, you're going to want to get really comfortable, make sure that you're not driving or out in public or other things like that. But for this initial one, that's not the case. You can actually do this anywhere right now, even as we're talking. In fact, this level of self-awareness and meditation is really great for when you're stuck standing in a long wait in line, or in traffic, or if you have a lot going on in your life and you just need to reconnect to the present, and you need to reconnect to yourself in between that space where there's all that mental chatter. And you're going to discover different levels of self-awareness that we're going to go through. Now, some of these might be a little bit unsettling if you're not familiar or haven't been doing meditation, or you're struggling with a lot in your life. When we start to go through this, it might feel a little bit strange because you haven't done it for a little while. You might notice things like the smells inside your office or your house or where you're at are you haven't noticed, and they might be unpleasant. You might realize, that your house is cluttered, or things around you that need done. And the initial awareness can sometimes be unsettling. You're going to realize a lot of problems around you initially. And we're not going to focus on that, because in the beginning, when we start to do these meditation exercises, it's going to bring up a level of awareness and a level of contact with the universe and reality that can be a little bit overwhelming at first. For example, usually when you go into the grocery store and you're walking around, or you're seeing all these products and labels, and you just walk along and take for granted the fact that you're reading all those names and labels in your mind, and how much that branding and marketing, all of the different characters and the attempts to try and get you to buy products, even the music coming through the speakers and the way the entire store is built, the whole experience, you usually, just gloss over and go through, and we just call it shopping. You go in and go out, and you don't really pay attention to those details of all of the names and labels and the branding. And especially taking on the type of perceptual awareness where you start to play games with those environments, where when you're doing your shopping or you're stuck in line at the grocery store, how you shift your awareness to try and not read any labels and not think any of those thoughts of the marketing and branding as you're walking through the store. Try to tune out the music playing through the speakers over the intercom, and try to become really just self-aware of your breathing or your heartbeat and stay in that awareness instead of all the clutter of corporate America or the branding and marketing all over the grocery store around you. And so we're going to learn some of those little games, and we're going to play with them, and we're not going to worry about the mental chatter right now. We're not going to worry about any of the distractions or things that might come up. All of those are allowed. We're going to just surrender to all of that. We're going to allow it instead of fighting it. We're going to get a sense of humor about that, a self-awareness where we have a childlike curiosity about those things. So when we wake up in the morning and you realize that your mind is racing, we have a pleasant sense of humor about ourselves, and we're kind to ourselves about how we are and that sort of dysfunction going on. And that sort of self-awareness that is reassuring, that isn't harsh or self-punishing, can create an environment within your subconscious that can heal and becomes really attracted to that calmness. And as you become aware and pay attention to yourself through mindfulness, and you start noticing that mental chatter and just looking at it with your awareness within yourself, that mental chatter will get quiet and it will stop on its own, and you'll begin to become the witness of all those thoughts and emotions going on, rather than identifying with them and feeling like that's who you actually are as a person. So we're going to start this off with a simple just awareness exercise where I'm going to sort of surprise you with things I want you to pay attention to and really focus on, like there's nothing else going on. And the first thing is, in the room that you're in right now, whatever environment you're in, whether you're inside or outside or watching this on your phone, I want you to look up in your environment and just really focus on everything that is the color red. Now, I'm wearing a red shirt, so that's easy for you to start on, and there's many things around and in the background. And if you look around the room, only notice and let everything that is red pop out to you. And as you're looking around the room, pick another color like the color green, and only focus in on the color green. You can go through the entire spectrum of the color green, all the way down into like a dark, earthy forest green, all the way up to an artificial neon type green. Whatever it is, just pay attention to the green and let your awareness completely focus on that. And then suddenly we're going to take our vision away and we're going to close our eyes, and we're going to only notice the ambient sound in the room. I'm going to go quiet for just a moment, and instead of thinking thoughts in your mind or trying to contemplate things, I want you to just become the sound and just close your eyes and just listen to the vibration. Maybe there's air conditioning, or there's a gentle hum, maybe there's traffic outside. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. There's nothing wrong with it. Just listen to the completeness of the sound around you. Stay with the sound. Now you can do this with your eyes open or with your eyes closed. But now shift your paying attention and your awareness to the temperature that you feel on the surface of your skin. Is it warm? Is it cold? Is there an uncomfortable feeling? Or does it feel pleasant? only pay attention to the feeling of the temperature on your skin. Take that awareness to the feeling in your hands and your fingertips. And notice that there is a natural vibration or a frequency, a feeling of energy in your hands and your fingertips. It can almost feel like a pressure. Just pay attention to that feeling of energy in your hands and your fingertips. There's no need to think any thoughts about it. You don't have to question it or wonder or ponder. Just become that feeling and notice the feeling. And within that awareness and that feeling that you can change from color to sound to temperature, we're going to take that now into our breathing and into our breath. And notice our breathing has been going on its own without even noticing and without awareness. Most of your life, your breathing has just happened. And now as we notice the breathing, you take that breath in through the nose and just let it naturally fall out. You don't have to breathe out, just let it out. And wherever you are, just be the breath. You might notice other sensations, a feeling of lightness or floating. You might feel drawn back to the energy in your hands and fingers. Your awareness might flow to the temperature on your skin and the feeling of the air in the room. You might open your eyes and notice a particular color. And you realize that you have total awareness and control over these perceptions, including the awareness of the thoughts or the chatter and the opinions and the questions that come up within that awareness. But in noticing and becoming the witness of those perceptions and sort of taking control like it's a game, and moving from the colors to the sound, to the feelings, to the breathing, we begin to have self-awareness and a mindfulness of these different aspects of our reality around us in the present moment. And with that basic level of awareness, as we begin to do that, it doesn't matter if you're in your car. You can suddenly just become aware of the environment of the car or the room that you're in. And instead of noticing all the things in the room, you can even notice just the empty space, the room and the openness within that space. You can notice all of the different perceptions and aspects and dimensions of reality around you. And the whole game and the process is to take control of that perception and awareness, all the way in and all the way out, from our internal dialogue and our emotions and that chatter going on in our minds, all the way to our environment, to our surroundings, to our home, our relationships, our career, to the entire experience that we call our life. And as we begin to have these little games of perception and awareness, we can notice that we are the ones who perceive our reality based on the things that we choose to notice. And instead of identifying as the entirety of everything going on around you, like this whole overwhelming thing that's out of control, that you are just waking up in the morning and plunged into, we begin to peel back the layers of this entire experience down to its individual parts. And as we do that, we can begin to get control over that chaos aspect by aspect, and we can choose moment by moment which parts of the experience we choose to notice and perceive and focus on at any given moment. So we can begin then to prioritize our life and our experience rather than just be victimized by it as it happens to us. And this begins the process of unraveling the secrets of manifestation and our relationship with the entire universe, and how we go through life as either just existing in this automatic functioning where we're constantly thinking the thoughts in our mind, trying to solve problems and sort that out and feeling like we can't, to stepping back from all of that and becoming a witness and starting to notice that from a neutral place, from a place where we're safe to look at our own thoughts, to look at our own emotions, and to choose within our own awareness to say, I'm only going to look at the color blue. All of these thoughts going on in my mind and these emotions going on and this experience that I'm having right now, I'm only going to focus on my breathing. And you do that and you suspend everything else. And there's other amazing little tricks and tips and thoughts and philosophies that we're going to learn throughout this workshop. And in this introductory first video, I just wanted to give you guys a sample of it and allow you guys to explore these soul reach meditations that are available to you and be able to understand how these workshops happen. But in the next class, we're going to do more perceptual awareness, and we're going to go through the different processes of understanding the alchemy of the mind and the emotions and our environment in the universe. And that's going to lead us down this incredible path where you're going to learn a lot of little tips and tricks and visualizations and key tools that I use and apply that will help you understand what meditation is really about and how we take control of our perceptions and our environment, and then we can choose to go into the space in between our thoughts and the empty, pure space between our emotions. And we can enter other spaces that we visualize and create as sort of dimensional tools that we can use to sort out our problems and our difficulties, to control the thoughts in our mind, and harness all of the aspects of your true potential as a human being, whether that be to try and learn things like remote viewing, to learn out-of-body travel, to learn how to do contact modalities, or even if you're just trying to lose weight or sort out your emotional and inner life as a human being for personal progress, and so that you can improve your life and have a more positive outlook and aspect and learn some of the secrets of manifestation, according to my personal opinion. Now, I'm not a doctor and I'm not an expert on any of these things. I do have a degree in social work and I do understand mental health, and I have read dozens and dozens of books about meditation from all sorts of aspects, and I've learned the Gateway Method, I've learned different remote viewing methods, and those are all going to be available in future advanced courses that are going to be available. but hopefully just starting here at the basics is going to give you a good start. And I'm excited to read down in the comments below everybody who joined this workshop. I'm going to be interacting there, and you can also message me privately your personal questions and anything that you're struggling with, and we can go from there. But thank you for joining me on this initial workshop, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I hope you guys really enjoyed this initial meditation and level 1 workshop, so you get an idea of what it can be like. So make sure and go check out the link down in the description below and join the Patreon. And I'm going to start posting the entire workshop on there exclusively just for you who join. Plus you get all the access to all of the other Inner Circle features, plus the on-screen credit that you get at the beginning of every video that I post. All right, I'll see you there on Patreon.